All right. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another rule session. Make sure you got your rule book in handy. It's going to really help us as we highlight a couple things. And let's just get going. I always start off with this just to make sure that our frame of mindset is always correct. Nobody's ever perfect. This week, I know very, very vividly, I've got video evidence of me missing a handful of calls, and it happens to everybody. We all just need to think and say, hey, we want to look for opportunities for improvement. I want to look for opportunities for improvement, and I really hope that you do as well. And we learn from our experiences, and then we learn from when we share our experiences with others. So you're going to get a little bit of all of those things here, but first, let's get started with the video.
Yes, he did.
Let's go.
Check him. Check him.
Let's go. What are y'all watching?
Wake up.
You've caught two worse than that on us.
And let's watch one more. We'll come back to these videos as well here in a little bit. All right, we'll come back to that video, but yes, we're talking today about check swings. That's the first rule that we're going to talk about. We've had lots of these, and some of you may think that, wow, this is kind of a basic thing, but there is some guidance or not so much guidance on this topic. So let's just jump right in. As I always like to say, we need to first always define what we're looking at. Let's define what a swing is. So take your rule book right here and head over to rule number 2. Rule 2 always has all the definitions. Starts on page 16, and they're in alphabetical order. A's go first. So we were looking for swing, S. Swing, S. So I'm thumbing through. I've got a sacrifice is on page 24. Sacrifice, slide, speed up rule, stolen base, strike zone, substitutions, and throw. There's not anything about a swing on here. In order to find anything about a swing, we actually have to go to what a strike is. And a strike is defined in Rule 721B, which is on page 45. So let's head over there. Go to my my post-it note here, and it talks in Article 2. It says a strike is charged to the batter when, letter B, a pitch is struck at and missed, even if the pitch touches a batter. So we're still not finding the word swing in the rule so far. We haven't found it yet. We found the verb strike or struck, past tense of it, but we haven't found anything about a swing yet. So what is a swing? And so I think that from this is we have to look at a swing is simply striking at the pitch. A swing is simply striking at the pitch, and we can't get too bogged into, like, there's not an actual black and white definition of what a swing is or what a swing isn't, which gives us quite the leeway. So now let's think, okay, so swing, we sort of got a working definition with swing. Let's talk about what is a check swing. What check swing definition? So let's go back to Rule 2. And again, we're looking for C's, check swing, batters, box, catch, dead ball. Nope, there's nothing about a check swing and definitions. Another one of my friends is the index in the very back of the rule book. Okay, and it's got all the rule numbers and everything for all kinds of different topics. So again, I'm going to find check swing in the C's, and it's not on there. But let me look under batter, because check swing has to do with batting, and lo and behold, there is something about a batter, but it's called a half swing. So maybe we have been looking for the wrong thing the whole time. So let's talk about what a half swing is and not what a check swing is. So let's go over to Rule 10.1.4. And there's a little bit of verbiage to this that goes along with it, but Article 4 starts. Any umpire's decision which involves judgment, that's a very important word, or whether or not a runner is safe or out is final. But if there is reasonable doubt about some decision being in conflict with the rules, the coach or captain may ask for the correct ruling be made. The umpire making the decision may ask an umpire, doesn't have to, may ask an umpire for information before making a final decision. No umpire shall criticize or interfere with another umpire's decision unless asked by one making it. And that's kind of common sense to how we get together on things and stuff, but this is where it talks about it specifically. Let's go to letter A. The umpire in chief sometimes, there's a really important word, sometimes ask for aid from the base umpire when there's a question as to whether a batter's, here it is, half swing is such as to be called a strike. As an aid in deciding, the umpire may note whether the swing carried the barrel of the bat past the body of the batter. But final decision is based on whether the batter actually struck at the ball. So we've got a better working definition of what a swing is in this section, even when it's talking about a half swing. So let's talk about this. And remember, this is judgment, y'all. This is judgment. So this is something that you must take a look at and you must make a decision. Sometimes people are going to agree with your decision and sometimes they're not. That's part of what this is, but it's important to know where we are backed by the rule book. First thing, it says the umpire in chief sometimes asks. It doesn't say you have to ask like other rule books do. It says sometimes it asks for the base umpire's aid. And then it even says for the half swing, use the batter's body. Does the barrel of the bat go past the batter's body? That's where we kind of think like, you know, the front edge of home plate where it goes past the body. But I would even venture to say that that's not even the best way of viewing it too, because if the pitch is an outside pitch on the outside edge of the plate, then you're not going to hit that out in front of the plate like you would say an inside pitch, right? An outside pitch, you're going to wait on it, let it travel, and then you're going to hit it the other direction, hopefully, and you know if they know how to hit opposite field. Anyway, but you're not going to hit that pitch the same way. So I don't think we have one working, you know, real way of gauging on this. This really, truly is judgment. You've got to determine in your own way, does the batter attempt to strike at the pitch? Does the batter attempt to hit the ball? Okay. And I think that is where the most ambiguous stuff really comes in to play in all of this. And we're going to talk about it in a couple of videos, the 2 videos that we watched, and then just get some general guidelines as well. So here we go. Let's jump into these things. A check swing. So here we go. We're going to talk about some guidelines. Let's first of all take this, the easiest one. No one is on base. You're working 2 umpires and your first umpire is in A. So if the coach asks for an appeal, I'm going to ask for an appeal. That's just how it is. In other rules that we work with, it actually states that if a coach says you ask for an appeal, that you have to appeal on a half swing. The high school rulebook doesn't say that, but this is good practice. If a coach really truly wants you to appeal on a half swing like this, absolutely, no questions asked. Sure, did he go? And just move on with it. And he's probably not going to like you for it because your partner, you know, may or may not agree with you depending on what it is, but at least you hear the coach and you understand what he's asking for. So, you know what? If the coach asks for you, go ahead. Now, if a player asks for you for an appeal in this situation, if I have an umpire in A, if I have a base umpire in A, I will probably appeal to the base umpire 90% of the time. Just because he's in a pretty good position with a right-handed batter, he's in the best position with a left-handed batter, he's in an okay position. There's just lots of things that really lead us to, like, you know, aiding in teamwork and showing that we're a team and stuff. So with nobody on, umpire in A, most of the time, generally speaking, I'm going to ask. So here's the first video from us. There's 1 out. We've got, I have no idea what the count is, but nobody's on. So the umpire is in A position. And take a look at this one.
Yes, he did.
Let's go.
Check him. Check him.
Let's go. What are y'all watching?
So I'm going to back this up for a second. The catcher didn't even know where the umpire was. If you can watch, he's kind of pointing around. Where's the umpire? Where's the umpire? And that's why I leaned down just briefly and I asked him, I said, what are you asking me? And he just very says, can you check first base? And I said, sure, absolutely. And I appealed down to first base and nothing changed. My partner agreed with me, no half swing. And were we right or not? I don't know. This is a really bad camera angle, but at least we're on the same page and we're going through the motions. Here's the, they're finishing that.
Let's go. What are y'all watching?
Yeah, I know.
You've
Let's
got
go.
2
What
worse
are
than
we
that on
watching? We're
us.
watching a good baseball game. That's what we're watching. Hey, one more thing mechanically wise about this one is watch how I step out and ask for the appeal. I'm going to step back. I'm going to get out of my stance and I'm actually going to offer with my left hand and go across my body and make it very obvious that I'm appealing. I'm going to step out with my left hand and I'm asking,
Let's go.
did he
What are y'all
go?
watching?
From there, he says, no, he didn't go. So there's nothing else to do on this play. I just walk back to my position and get ready for the next play. If my partner does say, yes, he went, he's going to come up with a fish. Yes, he went. Great. Then I need to go, that's a strike. Okay. Or acknowledge to the catcher, that's a strike. And then if we have a pitch that's changed from a ball to a strike, we also need to re-give the count to the pitcher right away. Re-give the count to the press box right away, just so there's no confusion as to where we are. So I think this pitch was supposedly, to make it a 1-1 count. Now we're going to put the ball back on. Now it's going to be a 2-0 count. And we just need to make sure that we're all on the same page for this one. This was pretty much cut and dry.
Worse than that on us.
And of course, yes, they're always ambiguous. So did you see me, the very last frame, did you see me re-give the count to the pitcher just to make sure that we're all on the same page? Moving on to the next video. We're moving on to the next guideline. So now let's put runners on base. So it doesn't matter where your runners are, but you're working 2 umpires and your partner is either in B or C. And now let's just state the obvious. This is not the best situation for offering on check swing help. It's not. But can they still help see things? Absolutely, they still can. So let's go through some things. If a coach asks for an appeal in this situation, again, with your umpire in B or C, same as before. 99% of the time, if the coach asks for an appeal, I'm going to honor it. Is that what the rule says? No, there's nothing in our rule book that says that for the high school rule book. But it's just good practice. If a coach asks you to check, great, sure. Did he go? And then that way you made the coach happy. Whether your partner agrees with you or not, whether he gets a pitch back or not is irrelevant. He asked for something, you heard him, and you did it. I think that really works with some of the teamwork that we can have with coaches throughout the game. Now, this is the one where it's a little different. If a player asks for an appeal, like a catcher asks for an appeal, and not the coach, in this situation, I will likely tell the catcher, hey, I really got a good look at that one. If I feel confident I did. If I know I was blocked out on a half swing and the catcher asks for it, I'm going to go. But if I feel like I got a really good look at it and I know my partner's inside and like I said, I feel like I really saw the pitch well, saw the half swing well, then I'm going to hold my ground and I'm not going to go. But typically what happens is after the player asks for an appeal, what is the coach going to do? The coach is going to ask for an appeal too. Well, and then when we go back up to the top point and we end up going to appeal anyway. So this is where I think that you just as an umpire need to kind of figure out where you're going to lie on the spectrum. Again, rule book wise, it says sometimes ask for help. It doesn't say you have to. It doesn't say you must. It doesn't say always. It says sometimes. So you've got some discretion in there, some wiggle room that you can work with. But just on a personal level, think through how you're going to handle some of these things. I would encourage you, if a coach asks for an appeal in any of these situations, go ask the question. But if a catcher asks or a pitcher asks or something like that, if your umpire is inside, I think you have grounds to hold your ground because that really is not the best look out in the field. But these are just my opinions and again, some guidelines. So let's take a look at this play. We're going to watch the whole thing. And before I go on with this, I mean, for everybody that's on the call today, social media has really changed so many things that we do. We now can see videos instantaneously from anywhere in the world, which is great things and which is bad things. Like there was a game yesterday evening about detached equipment where the catcher used his mask and scooped it up. I saw that thing scroll through my Twitter feed and it was less than an hour after it happened and it just has blown up in umpire community and umpire talk and stuff like that. It's just crazy how you are out there. In Central Texas, we have a person on Instagram that is doing recruitment videos and they've got a lot of things going out there. This is one of those. You never know when someone's going to show up at your game with a camera. And you never know when you're going to be the next one that gets 100,000 views on whatever social media platform it is. So just something to think about. And by the way, I have permission to use this video from both umpires. So take a look. Here we go. there's the play. Let's go back one without starting it. Did he go? I'm not even going to talk about that because that's umpire's judgment. I talked to both of these umpires. I think they ended up getting the call wrong, but right or wrong, that's not the point that I want to make. The point that I want to make is that in this situation, the catcher began to ask, and the plate umpire did not go appeal right away. Then the coach asked, and he came out, sure, time, hold on for a second. And he offered, did he go? He used his left hand. He looked out at his partner on the bases, and absolutely emphatically the partner goes, yes, he did. Yes, he went. And great. So you bring the batter back and you put it in. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that the coach's argument or the coach's discussion lingered a little bit. And, he may have asked really good questions, but if you look here, the coach came out, and that's about a good 20 seconds that the coach was out there just discussing, listening to things. If a coach wants to argue this falls in the category of balls and strikes. You really can give them the big old fat stop sign. And you can even just say, nope, we're not going to discuss about it. And you can halt them there, or you can be kind. I mean, I like how Steven kind of stated his case. I think he did a great job. The coach didn't get upset. He didn't agree with the call, obviously, but, he gave him his piece, say, hey, we want to work together. And the conversation that was having with the coach was that he was asking, why are you going to the umpire that's in C position? He's not a good position for making that call. And while, he's not in the best position, but we're a team. We certainly can help each other with these calls. I agree with Steven for going and asking for help on this. Once the coach asked, I like it. I even agree with my partner or with his partner out in C position, giving a call, given what he got. And he gave it emphatically with a strike. Yes, great job by this umpiring crew. Did the call get right? Well, I don't know. Again, the camera angle is really bad, but I don't know. I'll leave that. And that's not really the important thing. The important thing is how we are going through the motions and how we're the mechanics behind all of this. So let's talk a little bit about the reverse perspective. So now your point of view is you are the base umpire that's out in the field. Okay. You're the base umpire that's out on the field, and the pitch comes in and you see a half swing and you're sitting on it, and all of a sudden your partner looks at you and motions, did he go? I pause for a second because there are a lot of different thoughts that I've talked to a lot of different umpires. Some umpires on this side of the spectrum are like, you always need to back up your plate umpire. You always need to confirm what his call is. There are umpires on this side of the spectrum. Well, he's asking for your answer. You need to give him an absolute honest answer. If you think he win, call it. He win. We like strikes, right? Well, I think there is some merit to supporting your partner, but I also think there's a lot of merit in getting the call right. So where do we lie in this spectrum of things? It's a great question. Here's my perspective on it. If you're in A position and you have a great look and you get asked, give them what you got. Abso-stinkin-lutely. Absolutely. Give them what you got. Confirm it, deny it, whatever you want to do, give them what you got. Because I agree, we like strikes. Strikes move the game forward. And sometimes as a plate umpire, you get blocked out. Again, that's A position. Or in 3- and 4-man mechanics, if you're in D position at third base, and again, you get offered and you got a really good look at it, absolutely give them what you got. But where the wiggle room, I think, comes in is when you're inside. If you're in B and C and your partner has the plate umpire has no clue and they come to you right away, the pitch happens and instantaneously the partner comes up and says, did he go? I think you've got the green light to absolutely give whatever you feel it is. Really and truly, that's a good spot for you. Just give your best judgment. Yes, he went. No, he didn't. If the plate umpire is sitting there and he's selling a call, no, he didn't go. No, he didn't go. The catcher asks, and he looks at the catcher and says, no, I had a really good look. No, he didn't go. And now delayed, the coach asks for an appeal. This is where I think it's in the best interest for you to support your partner. Ask him, did he go? And you're going to say, no, he didn't go. And I mean, unless it's like horribly wrong that it's out, like egregious and everybody knows that he missed it. in that situation where your home plate umpire has really stuck up with his call, he's told his catcher a couple of times, the catcher's tried, he says, nope, I'm not going to appeal that one. It's delayed a few seconds long. Now the coach wants to appeal. Okay, the coach wants to appeal. I'm going to offer. Caleb, did he go? I think that's where it's important for you to back up your partner in that. I do. I really think that's the time to do it. And it's not just so that way you're not seeing that your partner's selling the call all the time and then you just go and reverse it and flip it. I think that's setting us up for a bad conversation that is not going to lead us into a positive direction. So just be thoughtful of where you are on the spectrum. Again, some people are way over here where you're always wanting to back up your home plate umpire. Other people are over here where you are always in every situation going to give them what you got. I think there's a little fine tuning in the middle of that. We're not trying to swing the game one way or the other. We're not trying to fix the game. That's not the point I'm saying is there's a time and a place for you to absolutely give 110% what you got when it's obvious that you got a good look and when it's obvious your partner is lost or blocked out or whatever it is. But likewise, when your partner is really trying to sell a call and he is firmly believing that he got something right and you're in the middle, I think you absolutely should back up your partner in that. So hopefully that explanation makes a little bit of sense on perspective on that. But let's move forward a little bit. And now let's talk 3 and 4 man mechanics. I know we're not in playoffs yet, but this is the time that we can talk about check swing. So with nobody on base, in 3-man, you've got your runners, your umpires on the corners, right? So any half swing that you have, you've got an umpire with the best view. If it's a right-handed batter, you're gonna appeal out to the first base umpire. If it's a left-handed batter, you're gonna step out and appeal to the third base umpire. I mean, I don't think that that's complicated to understand, so we're not gonna talk about that very much. But now if we got runners on base, in 3 umpires, somebody is going to be moved off of the line. Okay, so in 3 umpires, somebody's going to be moved off of the line. So in that case, if it's a right-handed batter and you've got whoever is in A, you're going to offer there. If it's a left-handed batter, you're going to offer if they're in D. If they're not in D, then you're going to look at the person that's most open. If somebody's in C, then that's who you're going to look at. There's some really, again, some nuanced things in that, but that's the gist. In 4 umpires, 4-man umpires, well, guess what? Everybody's on a base anyway, so you get to give somebody the best look at half swings on any given moment in 4 umpires, okay? And I would take these 2 questions. If a coach asks for an appeal in any of these situations, again, 99% of the time, I'm going to go and ask. If a coach asks, I'm going to go and ask. And now if a player asks, because we have more umpires out there on the field in better situations, my likelihood of a player asking and getting an appeal just went up significantly. I'm not going to say it's 90%, but it certainly is a lot higher in there just because we have more umpires in better positions to see half swings. So 3 and 4 man umpiring is coming your way in a month when we start talking about playoffs and those kind of assignments. And again, that's a whole new ball game for us all. All right, next thing, I want to talk about something called the next play. Baseball is a game that always has something else that happens. Oftentimes it's the next pitch. Oftentimes it's, the next batter or whatever it is. But within a play, it kind of can be tricky whenever there's multiple things going on. You've got one play and then another thing's going to happen right after it. And as an umpire, we've got to be prepared for what the next play is. So we got a couple of videos here. Let's take a look at the situation. We've got a runner at second base only. Outs don't matter. Let's just say there's 1 out. Umpire is in C position, and we're going to have a ground ball. Let's take a look.
I see how people with iPhones just don't iPhone folks all day, like FaceTime people all day. Oh yeah, come on, get there. Please.
So you may say, oh, wow, that's just a simple ground out. Exactly is. It's a simple ground out. The runner R2 is advancing to third base, and we have a ground out to the second base. But I want you to watch the base umpire. Watch as soon as the first baseman catches it, where does the base umpire begin to move?
Oh yeah, come on, get there. Please.
He begins drifting over towards the third base because we now have a big turn. That's one thing that's off camera is you've got a big turn at third base, and the third base coach is yelling back, 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 because he made a pretty big turn. And the first baseman's going to just stand there. If I was still in this position right here, kind of behind the pitcher's mound in the working area, and he threw it over to third base, I would have an angle on the play, but I wouldn't be very close to it. By opening up and drifting those 3 steps that I took, if he were to decide to throw it, I would have a better angle and I would be closer to it. I was thinking about the next play. And that's where I think we as umpires can kind of get bogged down as, oh, we got an out here. This play is done. Is it ever really done? Let's see what's next. Here's another play. Oh, shoot. Sorry, back up. I want to set up the situation first. Okay, so we've got no outs. We've got a runner at second base. So if I'm the plate umpire, I'm signaling no outs and I'm staying home. If I'm the base umpire, I'm going to respond back to my partner, no outs, and I've got the field.
2-1 to count. Shot over the second baseman's head. That's going to score a run. Oh, and he's safe at second. Compton is amazing on his feet.
So the first play from here is a fly ball to, there is a base hit to the outfield. I'm going to pause it here so we can see.
2-1 to count. Shot over the.
And the base umpire does a great job of stepping up, turning chest to ball, and watching the ball drop. We don't really need to move anywhere here because R3 is still our responsibility. If there's ever a play back on him or throw back on him, he is still our responsibility. So we can't really give up R3 completely until he really truly is going to score. So that's why
The second baseman's
I
head.
just drift to the working area.
That-
Oh, rats. Wrong button. Sorry, guys.
Second baseman's head. That's going to score a run.
As the throw comes, my chest is to the ball. As the throw comes, I now realize that that throw is coming all the way to the plate, and I can see in front of me the touch at first base, and I can see that R1 is not stopping. So the first play is going to be the play at the plate, but the second play, the next play, is going to be back into second. And so I now have to work to get into that position. As the ball crosses me, I keep my chest to the ball. It turns me, and now there's a play at second base. I've now drifted to the right side of the second base, and I've got a great angle
Oh, and he's.
at the play at second. Now, if I were to have this play do it all over again, I would have been moving this way a lot sooner, so that way my turn didn't have to be so frantic. But still, you see the idea.
The second baseman's head. That's going to score a run.
As soon as the ball crosses me, I start moving into position.
Oh, and he's safe at second. Compton is amazing on his
The next
feet.
play ahead, if on this situation, if we don't think about what could come next, then we're just sitting in the working area by the pitcher's mound and the throw goes back to second. We have a terrible look at it. So we've got to think the next play ahead. And as I say here, focus, focus, focus. Once something happens, we start having to think about what that is. But then we also have to think about what is the next baseball logical play, or in high school baseball, the next baseball illogical play to happen, like my game last night in a couple of scenarios. So you've got to focus. How does all of this come into play? Well, first of all, in order to know how to do this, you've got to have pre-pitch communication. You need to talk with your partner as to who's got what responsibility. Just like I said, no outs, I'm staying home. No outs, I've got the field. You just communicated that any play on the bases as a base umpire is your responsibility. That means you've got to get into position for it. If there's runner at first and third, great, we're rotating. I'm a plate umpire. I've got one out first and third. I'm going to go up to third base. Same thing with your base umpire. Hey, I've got the rotation. I've got batter runner coming back to first base. Knowing what you're going to do before the pitch actually happens. And then you've got to know your responsibility once the ball is hit. So pre-pitch communication, the pitch happens, and then know your responsibility and then act out on that responsibility. Don't let the play catch you by surprise. Actually act out. And this one is really important, is you've got to learn to trust your partner. If your partner is saying that he's going to go up to third base, you should trust him that he's going to go up to third base. You should. If your partner says, hey, I'm staying home, then trust your partner. Know that he's going to stay home. Know that he's not going to come drifting up the third base line and make a call. You've got to work where you are, know your responsibility, and trust your partner that he's going to know his. This one I've mentioned twice already, keeping your chest to ball. Nothing in baseball can happen without the baseball being present. Well, except for malicious contact. That can happen without the baseball present. But nothing else can happen without the baseball present. So if you keep your chest to the baseball, Number one, you're never going to get hit. You'll always be able to get out of the way. And number two, you'll always know where the ball is and how that's going to help you move. Now, can you be moving while your chest is to the ball? Yes. If you need to go this direction, walk, but keep your chest to the ball. I've learned, watch the ball, glance at runners. Watch the ball, glance at runners. Your head needs to constantly be on a swivel. I'm watching the ball, check the runner. Watch the ball, check the runner. Watch the ball, oh, I got to run over there. Watch the ball, check the runner, while keeping your chest to the ball. This is how you can always see what's going on around you and be thinking ahead. What is the next thing that's going to take place? Lastly, this is mostly a 2 umpire thing, but it does apply for 3 or 4 umpires if somebody goes out. Utilize the working area. That area behind the pitcher's mound is specifically for us, so that way within a step and a lean, we can have an angle on any given base at any given time. And the working area really is with this in mind, the next play in mind, thinking that, hey, if we got a lot of chaos going around, the ball's being thrown around the diamond, and 2 umpires, we really can't get to every play, get the best look on every play. So we got to split the difference. Got to get to the center of the field, get to the working area, and within a step and a lean, you should have an angle on every single play. Here's another one that this is a little bit different of a situation. It's going to segue us into the next topic, but we've got runners at first and third. We've got 2 outs. So I'm the plate umpire. We're just going to take a look. So, hey, I'm signaling to my partner. I said, I've got 2 outs and I'm rotating up to third base. That's exactly. Let me back up so you can see that. This is my mechanics. I say, I've got 2 outs and I'm rotating up to third base. And it's that simple. Has nothing big, nothing flashy, just 2 outs. I'm rotating up to third base. My partner in the infield, he's going to say, you're right. Hey, I've got 2 outs and I've got the batter runner coming around first base. That's what I'm working on. Or that's what, sorry, there's some chat messages coming through. I just want to make sure I don't miss. So 2 outs, we're rotating in this situation. Okay, let's see what this play has to do about the next play.
Try to separate themselves a little bit further here from the Rangers. Pitch is low for a ball. And now they've got him hung up. Now they come home and the double steal. Oh, that play just fascinates me because you know what's coming.
So the next play with mine is that in this situation, the first play is going to be the play made on R1.
From the Rangers.
We got a pitch here. It's ruled ball. The first play is on R1. If this happens to you and the runner is going backwards, you need to be just going, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? And you need to keep everything in front of you. The next play is going to be the play at the plate.
Now they've got him hung
or is
up.
it?
Now they come.
I moved to my left specifically for a reason. I'll tell you what that reason is in just a second. But now the next play is the play at the plate. So I'm slightly out of position. I've got to get to point of plate extended. And so now I can read the throw. And this happens really quickly. So I see how far up the catcher's having to go. So I've got to go with him. And I'm making this call on the run. So it's not the best look, but I did have a great angle on it. There's definitely daylight between the tag. And you notice I get set before I make the safe call. I get my feet set, so I'm stationary before I make the safe call. Again, you want to be stationary when you make a play, but sometimes things happen and you've got to be moving in order to get a look at it. So we'll talk more about this play here in just a second, but that leads us into the next topic of timing plays. Yay, timing plays. What is a timing play? Well, there are 2 different situations that you can have a timing play. You can have a timing play with 1 out when there are multiple runners on base. Well, what do I mean by a timing play? Okay, so let's say that there's a runner at second and third base and there's 1 out. So plate umpire, I'm going to signal to my partner, hey, 1 out, I'm going to tap right here to my wrist and I'm going to point to the plate. 1 out timing play and I'm staying home. My partner's going to echo, hey, yeah, you're right, 1 out. We do have a 1 out timing play. You're right. It can happen here. So this is what an example of a 1 out timing play is. You got a fly ball to center field and both runners are tagging. The catch in the outfield is out number 2. R2 tags to third and the throw goes to third base and there's a play on R2. And we have to rule whether or not the out was recorded prior to the runner touching home. This is why it's called a timing play, because it's based off of the timing of when the third out is made, specifically when the third out tag is made. Oh, tag is made, okay? So these are all tag plays. There's a definition that says a third out that is a force out cannot be a timing play. Okay, that's a discussion for another time. So if the third or subsequent out is made via force out, that's not what we're talking about. No runs can score in that situation. But this is a timing play. This is a tag play where you've got to actually tag the runner as he's going by. So 1 out timing play, multiple runners on base. Now there's a 2 out timing play as well. And this one's a little bit more common. So you have to have the runner, at least one runner, plus the batter runner. Okay. Or you can have this one with just multiple runners and not even the ball hit at all. It could just be multiple runners running the base, like the double steal that we just saw. So this is a really good one to talk through real quick. So let's talk about the first situation. So 2 out timing play, 1 runner on. So if there's a runner at second base and there's 2 outs, I'm going to signal to my partner, hey, we've got a 2 out timing play, 2 outs to the watch, and I'm staying home. He's going to echo, you're right, 2 out timing play, and I'm staying out in the field. Here's what a 2 out timing play looks like. You got a ball that's hit to the gap, left center field gap. The batter runner is going to try and stretch it into a double as the runner rounding third comes in and is trying to score. Does the run score prior to the tag out being made at second? Yes or no? That's why it's called a timing play. And just like the play that you saw just a second ago, multiple runners, and it's just a pitch, and we got the double steal. So we're actually going to watch this play again, but we're going to watch it in respect to not thinking of the next play, but we're going to watch it thinking of in respect to how does this affect in the timing mode, and why does a plate umpire move the way the plate umpire moves?
Try to separate themselves a little bit further here from the Rangers. Pitch is low for a ball.
I'm going to freeze it right here. One of the guys I first learned about umpiring is it's not a rundown until it's a rundown. This is not a rundown yet. So yes, you got a runner running the opposite direction, and yes, your feelers should be thinking, oh my goodness, what's going to come next? What's next? What's going to come next? But this is not a rundown yet, just yet.
And now they've got him hung up.
Okay, so dadgummit, why does it keep doing that to me? Sorry, guys. Now the first baseman catches the ball. Had he thrown it back to second, now we would have really had a rundown, and it would have changed a little bit of how we did things. But if you notice, now the plate umpire goes to his left. Why did I go to my left? Because we had a rundown. He was starting to go that way. It looked like the play was going to be made on that runner. So when that play is made on that runner, we've got 2 outs. The runner from third is coming home. I need to be able to see the tag and the touch of the plate all in the same line, so that way I can make a ruling of does he touch the base prior to the out being recorded or not. That is solely the plate umpire's responsibility. If we go just a little bit further, the first baseman stops. Now we no longer have a rundown. Now we no longer have a timing play because there's not a play being made on the other runner. Now we just have a regular baseball play, and I'm way out of position. Does it happen? Yes. But we've got to go with what play we're working on right now, and then we think about the next play. So here now the next play comes in, and as I said before, I've got to get in position to make the safe call there. Got a couple more of these. This situation is very similar. We got a runner at first and third. And there's first and third, and there's 2 outs. So let's take a look at this play.
There we go, boys! Let's go. Good job.
Okay, so several things in here. First of all, my base umpire does a really great job of officiating this rundown. Once he sees that it's a rundown, again, he holds his position. It's not a rundown until it's a rundown. He holds his position because we've got multiple runners. Who knows where the ball is going to be thrown to next? These are high school kids, and sometimes they make not so smart decisions. Great job on my base umpire knowing. Now we've got a rundown. Now we've got to think of what's coming up. The plate umpire starts moving to his left. Again, that is so that way you can line up the tag or the out being recorded on the runner or the save, depending on what it is, and the touch of home plate. You want to be able to see all of that in the same field of vision. Okay, it's like lining up a tag or a tag play like on the outfield and stuff. So you want to line up. That's why the plate umpire drifts to the left as the base umpire drifts over to make this call. He now sees that the runner is committed to second base, and my run at the plate has scored easily.
There we go, boys.
As soon as he calls the out, he points to the tag being made. I now start pointing at the plate. And the wording here that you want to say is that run scores, that run scores, that run scores, because there are a lot of people that think that because the last out was made, the run doesn't count. And there are a lot of coaches that will be watching the play at second base and they'll come, oh, did that run score? Well, you could be answering the question for them. I played probably 4 or 5 or 6 times. And the last point is to the press box. The last point that you're going to go to the press box is, and you're going to say, score that run. Now, this is at Waco ISD, so they can actually hear me, not very well in the video, but they can actually hear me. So I'm selling it. That run scores, that run scores, that run scores, and then last is the point up. Score that run. Okay? Now, the opposite could happen. Ironically, this is the exact same situation. Runners at first and third. There's 2 outs. I've signaled to my partner, hey, we've got 2 outs. We got a timing play, and I'm rotating up to third base. That's what we're working on right here. He's echoed that same thing to me as well. So let's see what happens in this play.
Jungle or whatever. Oh.
No, get a run.
Why? Oh,
Why do we do that?
He called him safe. He called him safe.
why?
Okay, so this one, again, the timing is not split second, but it's still important for us to make these calls and to sell these calls so that way everybody knows where we are, except the press box that still thinks I called the runner safe at second. But anyway, so this one, you've got a pickoff play. Runner commits to going a little too soon.
Oh.
Pickoff play. Great job by the umpire being in B position, reads the pitcher. This is not a balk. He stepped off. He's making a play on the runner, and the runner from third starts breaking immediately. At this time, when the ball is in flight, the only play that can happen at this moment is a play at second base. I'm lucky at the plate umpire because I can just stay right where I am, and I can see the tag at second base. I can see the play at the plate, and I really don't have to move. This one's kind of lining up nicely in my lap.
No, get a run.
Why?
But the lean of there is just so I can make sure that I see the tag. If you look at my partner, he is pretty quickly calling the out. And I like that in this situation because it's helping the plate umpire know when the tag is applied as well. So he's calling the out here. And in this situation, if you're the plate umpire and you're saying no run scores, you're just coming out with a safe sign, no run scores, no run scores. And it's pretty obvious. On this one, you don't need to turn to the press box and say anything. It's just very obvious. You're just going to go no run scores, except the press box this time thinks that I'm calling the runner safe at second.
He called him safe. He called him safe.
Why?
Oh, he said he.
And the guy got it as soon as he said, oh, he said that the run doesn't score. That's what he got. So they figured it out. Way to go, press box. We knew it. So timing plays again. This is the one that people don't always get. 1 out timing plays when you have multiple runners on base. This is the one that I think just kind of catches us by surprise if we're ever going to be caught by a timing play. And then 2 out timing plays when you got 1 runner plus the batter runner, or multiple runners on base in any other combination. So it could be 2 runners and a double steal, batter runner and 2 other runners, or whatever it is. Anytime that there's just multiple runners, those are your 2 out timing plays. So anytime that you see somebody go to like this, they're signaling, hey, that's a 2 out timing play. Or like this, hey, we're in a 1 out timing situation. Just set your thing up, just set your brain up saying that that's what we're looking for should the situation arise, and make sure that we're adjusting accordingly. All right, this last topic I want to say is be ready for anything. And I'm just curious to see if you can catch all of the things that happen in this video. Before we get started, let's take a look at the situation. We've got a runner at first base. We have 1 out, pre-pitch signals. I'm the plate umpire. I'm going to look at my partner. I'm going to say 1 out, and I'm going to third. Just that simple. 1 out, I'm going to third. My base umpire says, great, 1 out, and I got the batter runner. All right. So take a look, see if we can catch as many things, and then we'll go back through it all here in just a second.
Chopper out there to left field. Is going to go back to the wall. It's going to score at least 1 run for the Lions. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. He threw him out. Oh my goodness, that was a heck of a throw directly on target.
Cool. Lots of things that happen. I'm gonna let you watch it one more time and see if you can catch it. There's like 4 or 5 really big things that happen.
Chopper out there to left field. Is going to go back to the wall. It's going to score at least 1 run for the Lions. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. He threw him out. Oh my goodness, that was a heck of a throw directly on.
All right, so let's talk about it. So first thing, again, R1, the play, we have a clean base hit to the outfield. A clean base hit to the outfield, just like we pre-pitch signaled. Just like we pre-pitch signaled is 1 out. I'm going to third base. So as the plate umpire, I take my mask off and I'm going up to third base. I'm hollering, I've got third if he comes. I've got third if he comes.
Out there to left field.
At this moment, I stop in an area what's called the library. And I hope you can see my cursor kind of in this general area or this general area, depending on the situation. You can go to the library as a plate umpire and read the play. When you're reading the play, sometimes the play changes. In this situation, the ball gets by the left fielder and is going all the way to the wall. So I start thinking, the play's not going to be at third base. The play is actually going to be at the plate. And then 2-man mechanics, you don't have to continue with your rotation up to third. This is one where you can adjust on the fly. So now what I'm telling my partner is no longer, I've got third if he comes, I've got third if he comes. I'm now telling my partner his name is Keith. Keith, I'm home. Keith, I'm staying home. Keith, I'm staying home. And he's going to acknowledge that. And that tells him that I'm going back to the plate and he now has all the rest of the bases. A good base umpire is going to sense that this is happening as well and just assume those responsibilities as well. So let's watch.
He's going to go back to the wall.
So as I'm stopping, I'm hollering at him, Keith, I'm home. Keith, I'm going home. Keith, I'm home. Now, as I retreat, it is still my responsibility to touch third. You can see how I'm stopping what I'm doing and looking at the runner touching third. And to be honest with you, I think this guy's safe by a mile at the plate, which is why I'm not sprinting back, but I'm just moving back to the plate because, good gosh, I mean, the ball is at the wall right now. The ball is still at the wall right now.
Or at least 1 run for the Lions.
So, God, come on, did it again. How close can I get to it?
At least 1 run for the Lions.
Okay, at this point, I now realize that, oh my goodness, there is going to be a play at the plate. So I've got to get to the point of the play. So here now I'm reading the throw. I'm reading the throw that's going to pull the catcher away.
Oh, no.
And so my tag window is going to be now this direction, which is why I get set and I also lower my field of vision. If you see my knees, I squat down because I'm trying to see the tag. Does it go on top of it? It's not going to be at the plate where you can just look down on it. The tag is going to be on top of the fielder, so you want to look through it. That way you can see, does the glove actually touch?
It's not.
So I'm way down there. I'm looking for the play. And then I'm pointing, and I'm acknowledging on the tag, I've got a tag, which is why I have an out.
No, it's not. He threw him out.
But there's one little bonus thing to this. Let's talk about the little bonus thing to this play. This is what's crazy is the runner right here does not realize that he's about to get hosed. He thinks that he's made it safely.
Oh, no.
He gets to right here and realizes, oh my goodness, the runners start shouting, no way, no way, no way, as he's sliding into the plate.
No, it's not.
As you can see, he's now finished his slide and he's popping up right here. He looks me in the eyes and says, as I point, right, again, I'm blocked. He looks at me right in the eyes and says, no way, and then
No,
takes
it's
his
not.
helmet off and slams it. This is an automatic ejection, folks.
Threw him out. Oh my goodness, that was a heck of a throw directly on target.
And it happened in an instant. So my point to this is you've got to be ready for anything. Anything can happen on a baseball field, and you've got to just be one step ahead of the game that is happening. Now, I'm not showing that video to say that I got an ejection or to deflect on anybody. I'm showing you that video just to show that things can go from what seems like an easy walk in the park play to a blow up play with some discipline instantly. And if you're not prepared for that mentally, then that situation is gonna catch you by surprise. Had that player been able to stay in the game after doing that to me, what would have the next thing been that he'd done? What would the other team have done? It just is really important that if you see something like that, you handle it accordingly. Okay, so as I said, that's all I got for today. Does anybody have any questions from the week? I've had lots of wonderful conversations this week with several umpires dealing with anything from bunts to runners lane violations to batter runners getting hit with the ball. We've got lots of things. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Yes, I do.
Go for it.
I'm in China Spring Monday night, JV, China Spring Salado. I've got the plate, nobody on base, routine pop up to the second baseman, edge of the infield, outer edge of the infield.
Okay.
Blowing out pretty good though, and the second baseman misjudges it. I step around catcher and you know, I didn't run out to the mound. I was a few steps in front of the plate. And the last second, the second baseman does a 180 and turns his back to me. And I'm showing you my hands in my picture here. The ball got his back to the plate now. The ball disappears into his glove. And then everything goes down. He goes down to his knees. His hands, I think, go down to the ground. But I don't see, I got nothing. I have no ball. And I'm looking at my partner, and he is moving into right into there, kind of drifting there. And I don't know if he saw anything either. And I froze. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I have to make a call. So I'm gonna tell you what happened, and then I want to ask you a question. I had a thought afterwards about how I should have done it. So they're looking at me, and there's some lobbying going on in two directions.
Yeah.
I never saw, I don't know if the ball's out. Turns out it was, but I didn't know that. And they turned and looked, and I put my hand up and called him out. And 2 hours later, I'm thinking, crap, I should have called timeout and talked to my partner before I made any call. What should I have done?
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge that this play is an absolute terrible play. So, I mean, let's just be honest about that. You know, the wind does crazy things. Your partner is probably reading just a simple pop-up and coming and doing all of the things that are right. So I'm not saying that there's any fault to blame in this situation. So please don't hang your head, feel like you did anything wrong. Sometimes crazy stuff happens. And again, these are teenagers, okay? Now, let's talk about the play the play specifically. If it's your call, first of all, you need to make a call, right or wrong. You need to make a call. There has to be a call on the field. The call on the field cannot be, let me talk with my partner. Okay? So you've got to make a call first. You call out. Whatever the call is, you call out. If people immediately go bonkers, call time, and then you and your partner get together right then. Because if the reaction that way is going to kind of tell you, kind of clue into something that maybe something wasn't right. But I would actually, before you do that, I would encourage you to have a phrase that says, show me the ball. Show me the baseball. If you see the play blow up and then you're able to get out to even right here, you can holler at the second baseman as he's getting at, where's the baseball? Show me the baseball. Do you have the baseball? And if he reaches right into his glove and pulls it out and shows you, yeah, you got it now. If he's looking around.
But he actually did that. He popped up real quick with the ball.
And so, great. Then he may have sold it.
Picked it right back up. So
again, that's just another tool that you can use to add to it. And then I want to encourage you, if one side goes absolutely bonkers, then hey, you know what? You don't even need to come out and ask me. I understand what your reaction means. And I know that I had a terrible look at that. So let me go see if my partner can have any other input on it. And maybe he did, maybe he doesn't. Maybe we still stick with our outs. After all, the out makes the game go faster. So, you know, that's a bad thing to say. That's not the only reason to get an out. But that's just kind of where we're at is you just got to go with a call. First of all, you have to make a call. And then after that, then you can get together and use your partners, use your context clues, and go from there.
Well, let me, thank you. Okay, so we had a little bit of a hybrid after the fact. Nobody went nuts.
Okay.
I think it was blocked. A lot of people were blocked.
Okay.
The third base coach was pretty nice about it. And he came to me and said, hey, but he dropped the ball. And I called time and walked over, we talked. And I said, Coach, I couldn't see it. I had to call what I saw. I saw the ball disappear in his glove. I saw things go to the ground. He came back up with the ball. I don't know if the ball came out or not. Should I have gone for help? I mean, he didn't ask me to get help. I would have been glad to if he'd asked, but I was waiting for that.
I think that your explanation to him was great. I saw the ball disappear into his glove. He goes down to the ground and he comes up and he shows me the ball in his glove. I mean, that explanation was really great. I think that if you would have gone to your partner right away as soon as you called it, then that would have equally been great. Like I said, you did really well by how you talked to him, and especially since the coach didn't really balk about it or get overly animated, then
yeah,
I think you won the day. Yeah, great job.
Okay, all right.
Body language, that what I, sometimes that's all you can get in a 2-umpire system, even if you're by yourself. Body language. That's why it's important about timing when you make a decision, folks, on saves and outs. Okay, timing is everything. Tell yourself what you observed. Okay, body language. The fielder or the runner, they'll tell you if they're out or safe.
A lot of times they will, absolutely, especially slow down and be like, yes, what am I telling? What's it telling me? And good point, Hal.
Demonstrated actions, folks. Just observed, demonstrated actions. You can make good judgments that way.
All right, I always tell you guys, I'm going to honor your time. We're going to have one more minute. Anybody else have any last final thoughts?
Another good one, Caleb.
Awesome. Well, great. Happy umpiring, guys. District plays in full swing. We've got lots of great baseball ahead of us. And I can't stress this to you enough. You've got to act like a camera is on you at all times. You have to keep telling yourself, how am I acting? How am I moving? How are these? If a camera were to video me right now and post it on the internet, how would I look? Because there are cameras everywhere and there are plays everywhere. And you never know when you'll be the next person that ends up on SportsCenter. So enjoy your umpiring your games this evening and this weekend, but do so with great focus, with great attention, and great effort. Thanks for being on today, guys.